On today's episode of Wrong Side, preseason football continues and we take a look around the league. A life update from Joey and I and what we've been up to recently. Week 0 has come and it is upon us. This Saturday, college football is back. A fantastic and quick interview with Drue Chrisman, punter of the NFL and UFL, and then clutch moment of the week and outside the line. In a world full of champions, we find ourselves on the wrong side. Welcome back. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday. It's August 21st today, episode 22, almost at the quarter century mark. Joey, what are you up to? Welcome back. What are we up to?
Not much. New background for those of you watching the YouTube video. I feel as a podcaster, I feel like I'm at my strongest right now. I'm in my parents' basement. Well, where all podcasters love to thrive. Home for a couple days. I'll get to it later, but I got a dentist appointment, so I had to make the long trek out back to the parents' house. It's been great chilling, getting pampered by the parents, but life's good, man. Preseason football is here. Week 0, college football finally back. Buckeyes don't play until week 1. Biggest spread of week 1, might I add. But life's good. The sisters are back at college. I know Jake recently left as well. But a lot of good stuff going on in the world. Football is officially back. You can feel it in the air. And life's good, man. How about you?
Life's going well. Like you said, siblings back. Jake left on Thursday. Him and my parents went the weekend. Columbus moved him in. Poor Jake, unfortunately, hits the triple in the beta house, which will be a pain, I believe, in his future. But should be fun. Left me with a nice little gift. If anybody, like Joey said, is watching the YouTube, wrong side. It's similar to the Dallas hat I always wear, but just says wrong side. So pretty cool gift on his way out. But everything's going well. Week to myself here at home. Parents are on vacation. Went out to DC and Virginia. So kind of relaxing at home.
Wow.
Pretty excited. Football starting Saturday. Wednesday coming up. This week's softball. It's kind of like I'd give it a pseudo playoff game. Next week is playoffs.
Okay.
But Wednesday's game, we got to lock it in. We win. We get the 1 seed, meaning we get the bye heading into the finals next Wednesday. So going to be a big one, I think. So team's rolling well. Everything's playing well. Other than that, just doing my thing. Dynasty for football, like I know we're going to talk about a little. There's some great memes we're going to talk about, but life's been going well. Although things have been busy, it seems like kind of spirits are high. I can feel it in the air, like you said. Football's back almost. And I think the spirit of the nation is starting to get back to normal.
Yeah, definitely. So I got to ask you, a week at home without your parents, what does that mean? Is that frozen pizzas in the living room? Is that staying up super late? What does it look like as a 23-year-old with a week at your parents' house by yourself?
Right, right. Today, I made some orange chicken from Trader Joe's. It said on the bag 18 to 20 minutes. So I set it for 20 minutes on the toaster oven. I went in to check it like
Yeah.
15 minutes, obviously to go check in. And for some reason it was smoking. So food was getting hot and I had to take it out. Didn't want to burn down the house, but it was actually perfect orange chicken, I think. It was a little crispy, a little crunchy. Got that sauce in there. Threw some of the red pepper flakes on there. Got that going. Tomorrow going over to my grandma's for dinner. So she'll make pasta because that'll be great. And then other than that, not really staying up too late. I don't really know. Maybe 11, 12 is where I usually stay up. I get tired, but
Okay.
the body's nothing's too crazy is happening here without them, but should be fun. I think Moops and I are going to hang out this weekend, watch some week 0 football, Florida State 9 a.m. in Ireland. So that'll be fun. Told my friends that we usually play pickleball with on Saturday, got ahead of it. Talked about a little timing situation for the next couple of weeks, what we want to plan on because football started. Everybody wanted to sleep in on Saturday, but I got football to watch at 9 a.m. It's time to rot on the couch. But
Yeah.
nothing too crazy.
I always forget it's 9 a.m. for you. Like,
yeah,
it was
super early. 10 a.m. for Sundays and 9 a.m. for college.
I like that. I obviously, like, I'm Central Time, so that's not my
Right.
thing. So games are at 7. They end, like, you're pretty much going to bed at the end of Sunday Night Football or during the end of Sunday Night Football. You've been on the East Coast when we were at OSU. Do you like the early start on the West Coast time, or what do you think?
So I've had the debate about times with Meg a lot. We talk about it as well because when Meg's at in school, obviously she's in St. Louis, just like you said, Central Time. She thinks and she's made some good points. Central Time, she believes is the best time.
I
She
love
likes
Central Time.
she thinks noon is good. She thinks 7 is good on Mondays and for Thursdays, etc. She likes that for
Mhm.
Sunday night, and then Saturday, obviously, I think it's like 11.
Yeah.
So for me, though, I personally like the 9 a.m. It does harm anything you got to do before Saturday. I think
Yeah.
Sunday, I think 10 a.m. is really nice because on Sundays you can get up, still kind of get a workout in, go do something before that red zone starts. But Saturday, it is pretty nice waking up and just rolling out of bed, getting them coffee, grabbing a beer, sitting on the couch, and just boom, football's on.
Yeah.
You're catching like the Lee Corso headgear. That's what you're catching kind of when you're waking up because it's almost
Yeah.
at the end of college game day. And by the time he's done, games are started. And I think it's great. I think that time, 9 a.m. on Sunday, is perfect.
I like that. I think I'd be in on that too. But good segue into football. Preseason football, week 0. More preseason stuff. I know I got some Caleb Williams takes to defend and talk about, but where do you want to start with, preseason football or college football?
I think we'll do some preseason football first. I had a couple takes, a couple of things I
Hmm.
saw. First thing is, I'm ready to accept that my life is now going to be messed up. Like I mentioned, the pickleball thing, days are
Hmm.
busy now. Now we have Mondays and Thursdays and stuff like that. People are trying to plan things. My week's now booked. Monday's football, Tuesday I get a day off, Wednesday softball, Thursday's football, Friday is sometimes college football, and then Saturday, Sunday football. So my life is fully ready for football. Um,
Yes.
I've been prepping the body. I've been trying to work out more, walk more because come Saturday and Sundays, the blood flow really slows down. Blood flow really slows down on that couch.
That's fair. I think that's blood flow is going to slow down. Grubhub is going to speed up probably
Yes,
on those
yes.
Saturday and Sunday afternoons potentially. But yeah, it's probably a good idea to get ahead on the whole workout thing. Um, but yeah, I know Caleb Williams. I'll dive in with him.
Sure. Let's start with him.
Not a great week two. Not a great week two from Caleb. A rushing touchdown. So we have a mobile quarterback. I think I've seen this story before. He's an athlete, but not always the most consistent with his arm. Am I talking about Mitch Trubisky, Justin Fields, or Caleb Williams? People are starting to ask me. I'm talking about Caleb Williams. But the funny thing is, I'm also talking about Justin Fields because I still believe in Justin Fields. So those of you that are comparing Caleb Williams to Justin Fields this preseason, you can suck my dick from the back. They're both goated. They're both goated. Quoting Mr. Big Cat over there. Shout out Big Cat at Barstool Sports if you're listening. Stop overreacting the preseason. I've been on this since day one. Caleb looked sick in week 1, made a bunch of cool throws. I think he was 4 for 7 for 95 yards. It's not like he's breaking any records yet. Fields, my takes are funny comparisons going from team to team. So starting with the Steelers one, there was a Justin Fields overthrow ball on like a deep post route, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, like that was actually a perfectly thrown ball." The wide
Yeah,
receiver
that was
stutter step.
crazy. The
Yeah.
discourse of that play was
Oh,
insane.
oh, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're so right." Like I agree. Like that was a good ball by Fields. And then the quote tweets started coming up, where like Bears fans like seeing Steelers fans like already like drinking the hopium. I was like, "That's super fair."
I saw
Um,
Chris Carter, obviously Ohio State
yep.
great, like
Yeah.
defending Fields, like saying, "Oh, wide receiver stop." You see him slow down at the 10-yard line. Like everybody, I think Fields. The thing with him is like we make fun. Like I think I said before around the draft day about Davis Mills getting a statue and like that moment, obviously
Yeah.
getting a
Yeah.
statue, but. Like I think everybody wants Fields to succeed. Nobody wants Fields to fail. Everyone's rooting for him. Like I was mentioning to my buddy Dean today that outside of Mahomes, because although Mahomes was a first rounder, etc., the Chiefs lost in the divisional round the year before. So Mahomes came in, they lost that year. He was a rookie. He didn't play at all. He played like week 17 at the time. Then the next
Yeah.
year he comes over, he takes it over, goes to the AFC Championship. So outside of that, which was already a playoff team and it worked out where they needed a quarterback. Outside of that, Caleb Williams, I would say, and I think it's pretty agreeable, came into one of the best situations for rookie quarterback ever, I'd say.
Oh, for sure.
The
100%.
Poles has done his job. He's made trades. He's made a team around them. They have players to go. So it's great for Caleb, which we're excited to see Caleb. I know everybody's drooling, waiting to see him. I think there's a lot of people waiting to see him bust, but I think a lot of people are waiting. Pause. I think a lot of people are wanting to see him succeed, but it sucks because Fields, like I don't want to root against Fields, and I don't think much of Chicago is rooting for him to fail. I think a lot of Chicago wants him to succeed in Pittsburgh.
I don't know. I think we're like the Buckeye people that we follow and see on our feeds a lot, like
Fair.
they're rooting for Fields, but you got to remember the fact that the majority of the country and football fans do hate Ohio State and
That's
do like
fair.
to see them fail. I think Stroud has become like he's super likable. Fields
Yeah.
is too, like off the field, but I think with how passionately the Bears fans were defending him for a while, mixed in with the fact that he is an Ohio State quarterback, a lot of people aren't exactly disappointed to like see the Ohio State quarterbacks fail in the NFL
Sure,
narrative
sure.
continue through him. But I mean, I still love him. I think he's got the abilities to be dangerous in this league somewhere. I don't think that's on Pittsburgh either with how that roster is currently constructed. But
But he had a
Caleb
great
Williams,
scramble and throw too. And
yeah,
I was saying to Dean as well, he called me today. We are just talking football, talking fantasy, etc. And I said about Fields, I think that Caleb touchdown, like I don't think he looked great on Saturday, which it's okay.
right.
It's preseason. Nobody
Yeah.
overreact. Doesn't matter. Who
Hmm.
cares? It's preseason. But that touchdown where he had the rushing touchdown, I will say that it was posted all over NFL Twitter, all over etc. Everyone was gushing at the play, and I felt like I had seen that from Fields a good amount of time, and not because he could do it, but because the O line was so bad he was running for his life. I will give
Yeah.
Caleb the benefit of the doubt because when Caleb was still scrambling out to his left after he turned around, he was still looking to throw. Caleb doesn't like to run. He's admitted it. He said he doesn't like running. He only runs when he has to. Versus
Yep.
Fields, who I think runs with his legs because he has to sometimes when he's running for his life. But it was
Yeah.
just kind of funny to see. Like I saw in that original NFL tweet, people replying, quoting it, being like, "Love this play, love Caleb, I love the Bears, but let's not overreact because Justin did this 3 times last year." So there's
Right.
like
There were
that
other
side of it,
yeah. There were other quote tweets like showing people like on the same day doing the same thing.
right?
But
Mike White, I saw Mike White did one last
yeah,
year.
yeah. But we're not overreacting to preseason. We need week one bad. We were talking about it earlier. It feels like it's never going to get here, but hopefully college football not only will end that pain for a little bit, but will also get me off the college football 25 video game. Um, Other Bears take I saw, and then we'll wrap up with Bears. Matthew Judon was potentially tied to the
Yes,
Bears. He's what, 39, 49, 59. I'm happy we didn't get him. The report was that the Bears matched the offer that Atlanta gave New England, and the Patriots gave Judon gave him the choice between Chicago and Atlanta, and he chose Atlanta. The overwhelming take there that you were talking about before we started was that's probably because he has more likelihood to get an extension and get paid the big bucks in Atlanta. They're maybe not as good. Not that the Bears are anything hot yet, but got
sure.
Montez Sweat, a lot of other big contracts in the Bears at the moment. But I'm happy we didn't get him. He's old. I think it would have been a big name, like splash play to try and make, but I think we need an edge rusher. We talked about Austin Booker, the rookie last year, being or a couple weeks ago being the clutch moment of the week with a great preseason game. We need another edge rusher to pair with Montez Sweat, but I'm happy it's not Judon.
Yeah, I think the Judon, like I was telling you, I saw that he had the choice basically, but at the end of the day, I think it's okay. You're gonna have to pay people. I know, but realistically, the way people are talking about the Falcons with now having Kirk, there's a very good chance Kirk could have a great season, and they're gonna have to start paying someone. I don't know how
Yeah.
that's going to work if Judon gets paid and Kirk's getting paid and Pitts gets paid. If that ever happens, if London gets paid, if Bijan gets paid, along with that, at the end, basically the end of Kirk's contract, they're gonna have Penix. So I don't know what they're
Yep.
gonna do with him and his contract. So maybe a little more flexibility in the beginning now, but like you said, not too bad. My one thing I did see, staying in that division with the Falcons, I have 2 things I'll say about them. Penix, too good to play in the preseason, they're saying now. Coach Morris for the Falcons said, we saw what we had to see last week. We're okay with what's going on there. I don't know how that happens, especially when he's not going to be the starter week 1. So I'm very confused. Unless Kirk's Achilles is worse than we think, but everything I've been reading is Kirk's going to be there week 1. And then the other thing I saw about the division was Bryce Young sitting in the preseason. Don't really understand that at all. He struggled last year. He struggled
Yeah.
in every big moment. And there's some quarterbacks that are great still playing. I mean, we saw Josh Allen in week 1 against the Bears. We're going to see Burrow soon. We saw Mahomes, that behind the pass play. We're going to
Yeah.
see big name quarterbacks. So I think sitting, personally, I'm not for that with Bryce
What
Young.
do you
I don't know
think
what's
the
going on
thought
there.
process is there? What do you think? I mean, he's the far and away starter. You're not going any other direction other
Sure,
than him
sure.
unless I'm forgetting about someone. It's only his second year, so his body of work is not that big that it's not like a veteran that you are comfortable keeping out in the preseason. I understand their team is still not good, so maybe they're just trying to protect him. He's smaller, maybe a little more fragile, maybe banged up with something we don't know about, but I don't see any sort of reason like Josh Allen got a drive or a quarter or whatever it was. I don't
Mahomes
see
played a
any
good
reason.
amount.
Yeah, I don't see any reason for him to be kept out entirely throughout what is it, 4 games now? I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I really don't understand. I think it makes no sense. And for Bryce Young, I think he needs every snap. I was looking at the roster again today. I feel like it just is a real pain in the ass for Panthers fans and that Panthers front office because
Yeah.
that might be the worst trade. It might go down as the worst trade of all time if this doesn't
It's
work out.
I would
Like,
say even
imagine
if
saying,
it
"Hey,
yeah.
we're gonna give you all these picks. We're gonna get our number one, whatever." They take Bryce over CJ, who CJ looked phenomenal last season in his rookie year. And also, they're like, "Hey, I know we really want this guy quarterback. We're actually going to give you a weapon that will be his best friend in year one." So they gave DJ
Yeah.
Moore, they gave the picks. They really screwed them. And I don't really know what the goal is. Deontay Johnson, Thielen, Leggett, those DJ Chark, that's their wide receiver core. I don't really know what's
Yeah.
going on there. And Miles Sanders, I think he's gone now, or they're cutting, or he's not signed or cut or something. So I don't really know what's going on. Their defense isn't awful. They've had their moments, but JC Horn gets hurt too much. So
Right.
very interesting to see. That's a division up for grabs, I think. And on the other side of it, for me, last NFL thing I noticed, Brandon Aubrey, dad strength, knocked it in from
Yep.
66 yards with distance. They said next gen stats, good from 72. Pretty
Mhm.
cool to see. He left last week's preseason game because his wife was in labor. She was having a baby. Colt Aubrey was born. And then he hits it today, dad strength, or this week, hits it today. Awesome moment. Thought it was so
Yeah.
cool hitting that 66. I understand it doesn't count. It's not even a record because it wasn't a regular season game, but they went back to Justin Tucker's and his hits the bottom of the field goal post and goes in. His was good from distance. Thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
And looking at the Cowboys, watching them a little, the game was on at the bar I was at in St. Louis on Saturday, which was kind of funny. We turned the game on because people were looking for football to watch, so we turned it on. There's some dogs on that team outside of obviously the big names. I think
Mhm.
that for one thing, I don't care what anybody says about the Cowboys. They develop O linemen like a motherfucker. Tyler Guyton was our first round pick, and Connor Beebe is our third round pick from Kansas State. Both of them are playing bully ball out there, pancaking people. The first couple drives, Max Crosby got to play for the Raiders, and
Uh-huh.
Tyler Guyton was giving Crosby fits. And at the end of Crosby's last drive, he dapped up Guyton, told him what's up, played well. Good to see. Ryan Flournoy, the wide receiver, had a good touchdown catch. So cool to see. Trey Lance, I guess he played okay, but I don't know. Maybe they're trying to hope for a 6th round pick or something. But that's kind of where the Cowboys are at. And it looks like it was a good week around the league so far. Knock on wood, not any big injuries yet this week. Usually
Yeah.
there's some. Everybody knock on wood. It
Avoided a
feels like,
couple close ones. Jordan
yeah,
Addison, Jahmyr Gibbs, a couple other people, but
yeah, a lot of
fantasy teams
yeah.
are still intact for now.
There was a bad day in Minnesota with JJ and Jordan, and that was definitely could have been a lot worse. So glad that happened. And
Yeah.
let's just wrap these guys in bubble wrap. Let's get to week one and let's play some football.
Let's do it.
But
Speaking of
okay,
college football time.
college
Well,
football.
week 0, or do we want to break the scandal of the dynasty first?
Let's do week 0 first.
Fine. I'm really excited about the scandal, but we'll get to it second.
Let's start with the scandal. You want to start with the scandal? You pick. I pick. We start with NFL, so we can start with scandal.
All right. Dynasty League. So, as you guys have heard over the last couple weeks, we started a 16-man wrong side Dynasty League throughout the 4 Power 4 conferences, RIP the Pac-2. Big scandal coming out of the Big Ten. Wisconsin, TK coming at you. Not quite for the tone deaf person of the week, but some of our other members look to see our maybe blind commissioner. I don't know if it was blind or collusion. The jury's still out there, but didn't realize that as other members, you are able to see if people have replayed their games. Big game for Wisconsin a few weeks ago at this point. Alabama, ranked number 22 at the time, I believe, comes into Camp Randall. And after 8 attempts of Wisconsin to play them, they come out with a victory. So shout out to the boys who uncovered the scandal and went forward with the investigation. I think our commish may have been a little light. There's talk about network issues out of Wisconsin and Camp Randall need to up the network infrastructure over there. But I need the statement from the commissioner. Are there going to be sanctions? I'm still upset Michigan didn't get sanctioned, and I might try and take it out on TK. So what do you think of the big scandal in the wrong side dynasty?
So last night I sent the message to the group chat. I'm still not sure if it went through or not because I was taking off for my play.
Okay. You're muted.
How about now?
Now I can hear you.
connected to my phone, and my phone is off. How did that even happen?
Weird.
So I'm gonna just do the whole answer. I'm gonna do from your question, and I'm gonna go my.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So heard about the investigation. We opened up a case in the wrong side Dynasty League. Obviously, I've been running the league. I helped set it up. So I did my investigative research after talking to head coach Ethan from Purdue out
Mhm.
there. He admitted that there were some connection issues. And doing my own research, I was aware that Coach K from Wisconsin was moving apartments the week of the week 3 Alabama game. He informed me
Okay.
that when is this going to happen? When are you advancing? I said, I think I'm going to advance on Thursday. We just advanced a lot of user games that week. I felt like because it was still kind of non-conference weeks. So I
Yeah.
was like, I'm going to give the time. People were out of town for the early part of the week. I was like, I'll advance on Thursday. Tanner called me and said, hey, look, I really think that I don't know if I can get the game in. We just moved in, but the Wi-Fi company is not coming for 10 days.
10 days? That's poor
I,
planning.
I
That's
said,
brutal.
I said, okay, guys, we've called 3 different companies. We finally got AT&T, closest one, or what, Spectrum, whatever one it was, on the line. They're coming in 10 days. What if I can't play? How am I going to advance? I said, okay, well, just let me know if you can get it. Obviously, he said he got the game in. He said, I played the game, but I had some connection issues at the time, and it was just really messed up. That's all he said in the original moment. I said, okay, that
Mhm.
happens. Like, connection issues are an issue. Tells me then when I did the research, he showed me that he had personal hotspot. He was connecting to his personal hotspot of his phone. He said he didn't get past the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. It was dead, lost connection, lost connection. Kept signing him out, couldn't play online. After a thorough investigation of 35 minutes, after talking to certain people, the NCAA of wrong side has decided on no sanctions, no games. He's still under 500. He's going to have to keep playing to make a bowl game. I don't think that a bowl game ban is possible. I don't think we're going to vacate wins. So he's going to clean. I think there's been some moments we talked about Derek, for example, playing the game. Not,
Yes.
we don't know what's going on there. We're hearing rumors that there may have been just offense only in his games. We're not sure, but at least you
Maybe.
stopped him for the Colorado game. I think that was important. Joey,
Needed that.
if you guys did not know this, Joey we're hanging out with D-Bow. D-Bow presses the game. And he goes, hey, if you play one play, you got to play. And he goes, I don't think
Yeah.
I'm ready to play Colorado yet. He exited out, didn't play a game. So his does show too. His does show two.
That was clean. That was clean. There was a
It was
witness.
clean, not one
Yep.
play. Co-commissioner was there. And obviously, me and you have joked about the topic of you're playing, let's say it was SMU versus Oklahoma. We're playing each other. Let's just say, for example, we're playing in the online Dynasty. You're playing SMU Oklahoma on Play Now outside of Dynasty, learning about the
Damn,
players.
bro. Come
There's
on.
people, there's people learning about that, myself included. Definitely discussion. I think it's okay. I think maybe a quarter get loose. I don't think a full game, full play out. You're looking at basically they're playing. I don't hate the roster looking. I think you can look at other teams' rosters, see receivers, how they're using people. But I think the
Mhm.
actual exhibition game against the exact same team and players, I understand the computer is different than user, but looks like there's some scandals in this league so far. No scandals so far for SMU. It's tough to have a scandal when you're 2-4 and can't beat anybody, but no scandals so far.
Yeah. I think I'm 5-1 right now. I had a bye week. Oklahoma State, Ollie Gordon, Mike Gundy, the boys, not Caleb Presley, whatever my wide receiver's name is. We're ranked. We got a few teams ranked. The Dynasty is really fun. I wish we moved quicker, but I'm having a blast playing it. I'm very focused on my offline college football teams because I need my real life college football teams back. And we are
Yeah.
back with week 0.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Obviously, no Buckeyes this week, which is kind of a bummer, but we'll get them next week. Opening day, 12:30 my time next week, so that'll be exciting. And then this week, Florida State and Georgia Tech out there in Ireland, right? That's Florida State, Georgia Tech. That's game 1, right?
Yeah.
I saw today the line moved from 13.5 to 11.5 for Florida State.
Okay.
SMU, Nevada is also this week, and 2 other FBS games. I think Hawaii plays at 9:00 my time on Saturday, which is 11 for you. So that'll
Okay.
be interesting for week 0. But definitely excited. Definitely excited to see the teams back out there. A couple moments I saw so far in the papers. Shador Sanders, everybody was up in arms that they did not rank him in the All-American preseason All-American QB. Totally okay. Don't think you should be a preseason All-American when you're 4-8. And along with that, their social media team a couple weeks ago. Did you see that video?
Oh, that was crazy. That
That
was
one
so
was
funny.
unreal. He overthrows
Yeah.
someone and they crop the video to someone catching the ball. One of the all-time best videos I think I've seen in college football for preseason hype. Awesome. Just total crop editing. If anybody hasn't seen it either, on our Instagram, one of our writers, younger brother Jake Sharber, also put out his top 12, what he thinks the playoffs going to look like. Looked like there was some great engagement on there, so go check that one out. But very excited, ready to go, and need the Buckeyes. Buckeyes bad. This is the year. We talk about with Drue a little, but very excited for it.
Yeah. 50.5 last I saw for week 1. Buckeyes were the largest
Oh
favorite
my
in
god.
the whole week 1 slate. It was 50 a month ago, so I don't know
I
if that
don't
line
even
has changed since.
I don't even like I don't know. Those spreads in college football are so stupid. Like I honestly think they're traps. They're total traps because like they're gonna score. Like if I would hope to a point where we're pulling guys. If we're up by 50 at
Have
some
to be.
point, I would
Yeah.
hope that we're getting some say-in moments. We're getting some Devin Brown. I want to see some younger guys play. I don't want to see us. They're gonna score. So 50, I just think is so
50 is a
ridiculous.
lot. One of my worst gambling beats, not that I'm a big gambler by any means, but it was Furman. I don't know where they are or how big their school is, but they are tiny. Was about
Yeah.
50-point dogs to Nebraska in Nebraska.
Oh
This
my
was
god.
freshman or sophomore year of college. People didn't know me that well yet. My girlfriend goes to Nebraska. A couple of my other friends. I was like, I'll hop on the Huskers. They need a win bad. No, I was actually on Furman because the line was so big. I was on
Okay.
Furman plus like 48.5. I turned the game on to check in. Nebraska does have their backups in, but they're running a no huddle 2-minute drill at the end of the game, up 45, and then get it in the end zone pretty much as time expires to lose. So my friends in college who didn't know me that well at the time, they're watching me sweat out a plus like 45 or 50-point bet. And it was brutal. Nebraska fucked me yet again. Dylan Raiola is a loser that we established last week. But I still need it. I need it bad. I need all college football. I don't care who's playing on Saturday. I'll be there. I'll be locked in, and I will be making crazy takes the entire time. I think I'm crowning a champion by the end of week 1, and I don't know.
Wow.
And I hope it's the Buckeyes, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. Will Howard was announced this past week to be the starter, so very excited for that. I would really fucking hope so that he'd be the starter because out of the
Yeah,
money they gave him and they got the transfer, he's got to be the starter. Whether he's the starter week 12, he has to be the starter week 1. And I don't want to give this fucking Devin Brown, Kyle McCord back and forth. It was like JD McCoy,
that
Matt Saracen.
sucked. Yeah.
I'm back in watching Friday Night Lights to get in the spirit to fill my void till I get to football.
Uh-huh.
I think JD McCoy and his dad were the worst people in a sports show, but I think that I don't want to see. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see 2 drives on,
No.
2 drives off. I saw it in high school, my senior year. We had 2 quarterbacks they were doing it with, and the one kid that they ended up not playing as much was the better quarterback, and he went to Oklahoma State. So
Damn. Let's go.
I'm not sure. I hope we don't do that, but very excited to see the team. I hope Judkins' spin move is just as good as the game. So
That's what
nice
he
they're being
said.
so nice they're bringing college football 25 to real life.
Yeah, needed. Perfect season with Buckeyes. Just finished that a couple days ago.
Love
Offline,
that.
offline Heisman was huge for the brand. Lost to Michigan and Georgia in the playoff my first year in Columbus, but that made me happy. Made me
Lucky
stay
you got a
alive.
second chance. Lucky you got a
Yeah,
second chance to come back. So
yeah.
that's
I would have
great.
fired me. I would have fired me.
But yeah, very exciting. Football's here, wrapping up that. Looking ahead now, we're going to shoot it to our interview. We got Drue Chrisman, ex NFL punter, ex Ohio State punter. He's still fighting out for a spot. Commanders, if you're seeing this, if you're listening to this, we saw what you did on Twitter. We saw how you
Yes.
handled that. Very tone deaf, but great interview with Drue Chrisman coming up. We're so excited for you to see it. Him and Pink Zebra in the background. We're going to shoot it to ourselves now.
Now, welcoming it into the studio, Drue Chrisman, former Ohio State punter from 2016 all the way through the 2021 National Championship, 2018 third team All Big Ten, 2020 second team All Big Ten, spent some time with the Bengals and Steelers in the NFL, and recently getting involved in a new business opportunity, the Pink Zebra Moving Company. Drue, welcome to the studio. Thanks for taking the time. How you doing on this Monday
I'm
morning?
doing well, Joey and Michael. The sports world is fun. The moving company is just as exciting. So yeah, we're learning every day. We're 2 weeks in operation here, and every day is drinking from a fire hose. And well, you can tell we got the trucks all dolled up. Hopefully, you see those all over town. And yeah, I'm
Yes, sir.
excited to talk to you guys.
Well, we're super excited to have you. Pink Zebra, like Drue said, in the background, anybody in Ohio, if they're moving currently, use Drue. He's got a great Instagram, great Twitter following for Pink Zebra, running a great company
That's why you
now.
should move with me
The
because of
first,
my social medias. Exactly.
yes,
We do
yes,
a good
yes.
job moving too. We don't
Uh,
break stuff, so yeah, that's good.
But we're very happy to have you. Very honored to have a couple minutes of your time. So we're gonna have a couple questions for you. But first question we have, obviously now you are still trying to make it in the NFL, trying to get all that happening. You were just in the UFL. But basically from the beginning, how did you start punting? Did you have a soccer background? Was there a football background? Everybody kind of wants to play quarterback, I feel like, for the Dallas Cowboys growing up, or the Bengals or the Browns. How did you get to the punting side of things?
No, that's a great question. Yeah, believe it or not, I used to play a real position. Yeah, I grew up wanting to be Carson Palmer. That was my guy. That was my team. I was a Bengals fan. I always wanted to be a quarterback. That's what I planned on going into high school and everything like that. But as my whole journey here has been, all the ups and downs. It's been riding the roller coaster, and God having other plans for me. Going to high school, planning on being quarterback, I ended up having to get Tommy John surgery in my throwing arm,
Oh
and it
wow.
puts me out for a season. So while I can't throw, I learned how to kick the ball. I'd always been a punter, didn't take it that serious. I had a soccer background, but um, never even knew you could get a scholarship just for punting a ball. That was wild to me I found out when I was sitting in Jimbo Fisher's office down in Florida State. He was my first offer, and I was a little flabbergasted. Didn't know what to say when he said, "Yeah, come kick a ball for me, and we'll pay for your school." So ever since that happened, I was like, "All right, I think we got something here. Let's focus on this." And I probably wouldn't be talking to you today if I was still trying to throw the pigskin. So
Fair enough, and a great segue to our next question. On the recruiting side of things, we saw you were ranked as the number one punter in the 2016 class. You said Florida State, obviously ended up at Ohio State, both premier programs across the country. How do you get ranked as the number one kicker, number one punter? Is it the furthest you can kick it? And overall in recruitment, how did your final high school season be affected by being the number one punter in the 2016 class?
yeah,
How does that affect your season?
the ranking and all that's really funny. I didn't know anything about this. This was a whole new world to me. I didn't have any family that played anything higher level collegiately, sports or anything. So I was just learning as I go, and I just got emailed by a ranking kicking site called Cole's Kicking, and he just basically hit me up like, "Hey, come to a camp, kick some balls, and we'll see where you stack up." I didn't know how good I was. I just was watching YouTube videos. That was my coach. I was watching old Ray Guy videos. If you guys are familiar with that name, legend of the game, changed the sport, and he had some videos, and that was my first official punting coach. And so I took some techniques that he had and kind of refined those a little bit to my own skill, and went to this camp and hit some balls, turned some balls over. Didn't know how really well I did. There was hundreds of kids there, and I was just one of the guys. And then they charted them all together. The consistency. If you guys were you asked like how you get ranked that high, there's a lot of
Mhm.
guys that have a bigger leg than me. There's a lot of guys that can kick it further than me and everything. But at that class, and I still think today, I'm one of the most consistent punters as far as turning the ball over on the most consistent rate that um, certainly in that class at the time, but I still think even to this day. And just being consistent, they gave you 10 balls, and whatever you average in those 10 balls, that's where they ranked you. And from that one camp, I jumped up to the number three, and they had me come out to one camp in Florida to compete against the number one guy for the number one spot. So I went to two camps, got ranked number one, and I got thrown from that point on. There was not a door that was not open to me in terms of college recruiting. I could have gone anywhere I wanted to. Like I mentioned, first offer was Florida State. Just coming off a national championship, and then after that, I mean, it was a plug. The only offer I had to work for was Ohio State. They were definitely the
Wow.
girl playing hard to get, and I think because of that, I think it made me want them a little more. Obviously, they were the hometown
Oh
team, and
yeah.
being local that helped. I didn't grow up wanting to be a Buckeye, but having to earn that scholarship, I think a part of me, made that a little more appealing when Urban did actually throw me out that offer. So yeah, that's punting. And as far as senior year, man, it was a lot of fun. Not have to worry about where you're going the next year. Unfortunately, my best friend, he was a kicker for us, and he went down first game, so I get thrown into the kicking responsibilities as well as the punting. So I was more focused on that really than punting. Punting, I'd kind of taken a
Yeah.
sidestep, and I'm out here trying to learn how to kick a field goal. on the fly throughout the season. So it was a fun senior year. We won state, and we didn't punt a whole lot. So in a certain way, I'm kind of glad I got the kick because I wouldn't have played in the state game. We didn't punt at all I did
Yeah.
was kick extra points and kickoffs. So it ended up working out.
That's a great little story. I did not know about the kicking. Like you hear these stories about punters, kickers doing both, and in a state championship game when you're winning that much by that much, I guess punting isn't the forefront of the opportunity. But like you said, Ohio State was playing like hard to get, and you've now played in the NFL. You've been bouncing around, trying to continue to make that happen. What's been your goal to stay positive throughout the way? Obviously, it's a tough business. Obviously, it's tough, but you've showed that perseverance to get the Ohio State offer. How have you stayed on that path to continue to grind for the NFL?
For sure. I mean, I would anybody at this level that's made it to the NFL would be lying to you if they told you it was just a cakewalk. Your little kid dream of playing in the NFL one day, and the guys that make it are like, oh yeah, it was just a dream come true, and everything was just smooth sailing from the time I put on pads to get that level. Everybody's got their own hiccups. Everybody's got their own roller coaster ride, and I was certainly no different. And especially in the specialist position, there's a lot more of a carousel that goes around. It's a lot of you got to have the talent. There's a handful of guys out in this world that can do it at that level, but then after that, it's all timing. Unfortunately, you never hope
Yeah.
someone gets hurt, but as soon as you see someone pull a hamstring on Sunday, you might be one of those guys that are on a short list to get a call in that next week for a tryout or something like that. Because it's a brutal game. It's really just a lot of luck and a lot of timing. And I put my time in with the Bengals. I was there for a year, just off and on the practice squad. Eventually, they liked me enough to keep me around the following season. Cracked my way into the opening roster, and at the end of that season, all of a sudden I find myself on the street again. So this is
Yeah.
it's just been every year has been a new challenge. Every year has been a new learning adventure of how the business and everything operates. And I just want to hit on that word again, business. It is very much a business at this level. And going from Pee Wee to the NFL, the game changes a lot. It's still football, but you get to see a little bit more of the business side at this level. And some people thrive in that, and other times it's just the way of the world it is at those kind of companies. So you just hope you show up and they like you enough and you stick around for a while until they get tired of you and you find somewhere else. So that's the process I'm in right now. I'm going to all these different tryouts, and hopefully my name keeps getting called around in these circles. So
Yeah. The business side's tough. There's only a finite number of spots
yep.
I mean, I'd love to be there myself, but I'm going to keep my body safe and not go to these tryouts. But you've done a lot. You're still grinding your way through the NFL, getting involved in the moving company. What would you say your biggest lesson has been since graduating? Maybe one or two tips and tricks to those of us who are recent graduates trying to figure it out.
I'd say the biggest tip is you don't need to have it all figured out. My whole experience, my whole career is I make plans and God laughs. So all you
Yep.
can really do is you just go all out. I hate saying it, but you go 110%. Very cliche. And then when that door closes, typically if you're going hard, you're doing all the right things. Another door will open. No matter what you're doing, you just can't stay still. Nothing gets done just sitting on the couch waiting something to happen. So that's what I'm doing with this. We're staying busy. We're still training. If a call comes, a call comes. If a call doesn't come, I'll hop on this truck and I'm moving someone in the greater Cincinnati area, the tri-state area. So, we're staying
Yes,
business. We're
sir.
staying busy. That's really what life's all about. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm not going to let someone dictate, my future in a sense. I'm trying to take things a little bit more in my own hands, and whether that be NFL or whatever else comes after that. But for any advice I'd give anyone out there that wants to accomplish anything great, just do everything you possibly can, and then adjust from there. I mean, great things happen for the people that go out and get it. It's closed mouths don't get fed. Go out there, do everything that you possibly can, and and see what happens. If you got a dream, chase that with everything you got, and then go from there. Whatever adjusts off of that.
That's
Juiced up.
incredible. Yeah, incredible advice. I love that. Joey and I talked about kind of like, as we mentioned before we did the interview, like ups and downs, and like both of us work full-time jobs. We're both trying to do something on the side and like not give up. And it's tough to find that happy medium between, are you guys going to just do this podcast in your company for a hobby, or are you guys going to build this brand up and keep trying your whole heart? And we've talked about that and giving the 110% and making sure we're not wasting our time with everything we're doing.
Yeah.
Now, the last couple questions we have. First question I have, we go a little fun, happy questions along with some business and like serious questions. Was my girlfriend wanted me to ask when I was telling her we were doing this interview. She said, "Please ask him. You know, every girl has watched it that's went to Ohio State. What was it like proposing to Avery during the spring game, and how was that moment?" Because she was like, "You got to ask him. Every girl wants to know. Every girl loves that loves football."
Yeah, I set the bar pretty high there. In terms of the
Yeah.
proposal game. So sorry to some other fellows that were on the team. They had some girlfriends that were kind of looking at them a little side eye after that whole thing went down. But no, that could be a whole podcast episode by itself, honestly. That was
Right.
so close to not
Yeah.
happening, and the amount of hurdles that I had to jump through to get that, because that had never been done before in that field. You know, Ohio State is very rich in history, and I was
Right.
very grateful for our athletic director to allow me to do that. But even the day of, after it all been cleared, I'm walking out there at about halftime, and the lady who was supposed to go get Avery out of the stands I was going to propose to, she was still sitting there. I'm like, this is a 2-man operation. I kind of need my girl down here if we're going to make this work. So luckily, it all worked out. We were able to throw it all together, and yeah, I mean that was very special. Grateful for my media team capturing a very beautiful video to have that in the history books forever. I see it every single Valentine's Day now. Some random account will tag me in that on top of like the greatest proposal of all time. I didn't expect it to get as big as it did, but that's definitely my claim to fame, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So it's a very fond
Love
memory
that.
that we'll cherish and show our kids, and they'll make fun of us forever. So.
Yeah, amazing. The bar is set pretty high. Maybe we'll pull it off, but doubtful. Taking a look, still on the field, but in a different way. You had a ton of success at Ohio State, multiple Big Ten championships, a national championship appearance. Some things went the right way, some things you guys were on the wrong side of it. What was your favorite game that you played in at Ohio State?
I mean, any of the Team Up North games. As you mentioned, a lot of accolades there. You left off 4 gold pants.
Yes, sir.
That's my biggest take. It should have been 5. They bowed out during COVID. They would have got a big old beat down. So it would have been 5 gold pants, but we'll take 4. Those were always special. The energy, the electricness of that game, that whole week, especially if you guys are Buckeye fans, you guys know the specialness of that game and the different intensity that's brought to it. Besides those games, Penn State whiteout 2018, I believe. Those whiteout games are a different level as well. So either of those games coming down to always big games, great game. Actually, I don't know. We beat the brakes off of Michigan most of the years. Now script's been flipped a little bit, so it's good to see them get a little revenge.
Yeah.
But I think we got their number this year. If we can't get it done this year, that place is going to explode. Just
we don't want to talk about
yeah.
it.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, that's
We'll
let the boys
we will
take
most
care of
likely
that.
be in attendance for that game. We were both Buckeyes. We graduated in December of 2022,
That's right.
Michael was able to see some of the wins, a lot of losses in that game for me. So we need them badly this year. I think we're going to be in attendance along with a few of our other friends. So a lot of content on Wrong Side will be coming out that week.
Hopefully,
But
we're on the right side.
the game's different. Yeah,
Yeah,
need to be.
hopefully we're on the right side. One question about that. You mentioned the 4 gold pants. That's that is the best stat. But we always have this debate.
You were moving, home of the world's first happy moving company. Please hold while I try to connect you.
Hopefully,
It's going to be the other guy.
I know.
Hello, this is Drew. Things you're moving. How can I help you?
Hey, Drew, it's Joey. Wanted to give you a call and wrap up our last question. We could just do it on the phone. You good for one more question?
Yep, shoot.
All right. So, you mentioned that your favorite game was against that team up north every year. A question that we, the fans, like to debate very heavily. Would you rather um, beat Michigan and lose in the college football playoff, or go 11-1 in the regular season, lose to Michigan, and win the whole thing?
I mean, I could have stopped you right after you said lose to Michigan. I mean, that's no. I mean, you could have stopped right then. You can't lose them. I don't care. I don't care if you go 1 and 12 or however many games you play. You beat them. That's a good season. So
I love it. Well, thank you. Thank you. Great answer. But we'll wrap it up there. Thank you again for the time. Pink Zebra, everyone, Cincinnati, greater tri-state area, check them out. Drew, thanks for the time. We'll kick it back to ourselves in studio for our ad read and clutch moment of the week.
I appreciate you guys having me, guys. And yeah, best of luck with the podcast game. Keep it up.
Thanks,
Go
Drew.
Bucks.
See ya. Our clutch moment of the week is brought to you by Shore Metals, serving Southern California since 1970. Big enough to serve you and small enough to know you. See Stan, he'll help you out. Michael, clutch moment of the week. Go.
Former SMU pony in real life, not in the video game, Elijah Chapman. I know many of you might not know who that is, may have not watched the NFL preseason this week, but if you did see the highlight, New York Giants defensive lineman tracking down the running back. That's the effort I love seeing, especially in the preseason. You don't get to see a lot of starters, but you root for guys like that. We talked about it last week with the kid from British Columbia on the Bears trying to make the roster. This is a different guy. Elijah Chapman, awesome. Chased down a running back, was 20 yards behind him, got him. I know it's bad, probably wrong side for the running back that he got caught by him.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
clutch moment for that guy. I fucking love that effort. That's great. That's what the preseason's about. You root for those guys that they're fringe 53 to 60 guys that might make the practice squad, might get cut. But seeing that in a preseason always gets you juiced. And I really thought that was our clutch moment of the week.
Yeah, that was huge. Big boy play. Probably
Big boy.
all of about 300-pounder making the play 20 yards downfield. I don't know who he chased down, but tough day in the film room for that running back the next day. But yeah, love seeing grit. Love seeing grit in the preseason. That's why we need regular season. It's going to be big. My clutch moment of the week. Work's been kicking my ass lately. I'm not going to lie. It's a grind. Football's around the corner. Need it bad. But day off is coming up soon. Labor Day is coming up, and we
Thank
booked
God.
the cabin trip. The trip made it out of the group chat. Friday to Monday, about 3.5 hours north. We got a lake. We got a hot tub. We got a pool table in the house.
Ooh.
Bad day to be a beer. Bad day to be a beer.
On week one. On week one, too.
On week one. Very excited for that. Need to get away. Very happy to just kind of just get away from everything. Just have the close friends will be there. Really looking forward to that. Really looking
Love
forward to
that.
that.
Little
That was
3-day
my clutch
weekend.
moment. Mm-hmm.
On that note, I will say last week when I was working and I was kind of having a rough day, I'd been working. It was already like 6 o'clock. Still had to get some stuff done. Realized that week one was also Labor Day. I thought it was a week after,
Yeah, me too.
but realized that we had the 3-day weekend for week one of college football, which means Sunday, LSU, USC, and Allegiant. We get to still watch that and get to sleep in the next day. So super clutch as well.
That's huge. That's very huge.
Love that. So group chat, trip, made it out of the chat, and Elijah Chapman, clutch moment of the week. Now to outside the line. Wrapping it up now with the last segment, outside the line, and of course, starting off with one of our best, tone deaf person of the week. Joey, who do you got?
Couple of the boys. Talking football a lot. Fantasy football is right around the corner. I had my first draft Sunday. Hate my team, which is just all things going according to the plan in that regard. But Pledge Class Fantasy Football League is back. Ended last year with a scandal. So first of all, I have been cut out of the Pledge Class Fantasy Football League since about sophomore year. Not cut out, but I think they already have like 16 teams. So I was first one out, but I'm back now. However, last year, two of our Dayton friends were trying to collude. John Urbaugh, Matt Duplain, wanted to stack the team in the Pledge Class group chat and stack the other person's team in their hometown fantasy football league. Commissioner Commissioner Wrongsider O'Hara found out and laid in some pretty big sanctions. Actually, very curious on your opinion. So they were going
Okay,
to
what were
stack the
they?
teams. The trade went through, but they were like, like we want to reverse this, like before it gets played. They took the efforts to walk the trade back before anything bad happened. The
Okay.
implications, the sanctions imposed by Commissioner O'Hara, no trading for the rest of the year.
Last season or this season?
I think possibly this season too. But
Oh,
the bigger
wow.
thing, this was last season. It's a keeper league, 3 keepers. They
Okay, I
lose
was going to ask.
all their keepers,
Whoa.
all the keepers. I think it's a little harsh.
So they get no keepers this season,
Correct.
and they also weren't allowed to trade after that deadline, obviously, after the trade deadline last year. But they're not allowed to trade at all this season. So no trades
Correct.
this season, plus no keepers.
Plus no keepers. Correct.
Do they lose those picks?
There was a lot of talk about draft compensation, but the initial was they get their draft picks, but Boogs had Jefferson and Breece Hall last year, and who I don't even remember who the other one was, but doesn't get to roll over any of those keepers. So I think you get to draft again, but so does everyone else gets to take Breece and Jefferson in the first round probably.
With that league, how do keepers work? Is it the round they were taken? Is there a minus
Round they were
one?
taken.
Round they were taken. Okay, so no keepers.
No
And
keepers.
those were the sanctions. Did those sanctions follow through? Has the draft happened yet?
The draft has not happened yet. I am a co-owner of Team Stein. Happy to be there. Going to bring my best there every day. Shout out Sam Stein, another wrong side writer. Draft hasn't happened yet. We're actually cooking up some big stuff over here. So if any gambling people on the phone, Team Stein for the winner. But I don't know what I was talking about. Draft hasn't happened yet. They're not keeping their keepers. They're still in the league for now, but there's still negotiations going on, honestly. Our Urba has been blowing up our phones for months now. Commissioner O'Hara has been dealing with this for all of about 6 months, and the season is right around the corner. But the fantasy football group chat is the best place and the worst place at the same time. That is why it is my tone deaf. Some really fun moments, some real shitty teams to make fun of, and also some of the worst, dumbest, stupidest arguments that you can think of. So tone deaf, the fantasy football leagues.
Yeah, obviously, I'll apologize on behalf of Wrong Side. A lot of football this episode. Obviously, you can see we're excited. We tried to break it up with a good interview with Drue, and I hope you guys really enjoyed that one. It was really cool. Got him on the phone. He was busy, but really got to talk about it all. So I know even still, he was a football player. We took a break from talking football for a little and talk life. But like you said, fantasy football, the chats are great. There's nothing better, I believe, than the ever so famous, this trade helps both of us. I think this trade helps you more than me. I was making fun of my buddy Tanner, Coach K from Wisconsin, that his younger brother, who's 12 years old now, he's in 8th grade, and we were talking about it, and we made fun that he's joining one of our leagues now. We were saying it's crazy that now he's going to be in our leagues. But we did decide as a league to ban him from the group chat. We don't think he's ready to see that stuff at 12 years old. We decided against.
That's a smart decision.
But we were making fun. I was like, I can't wait to pull this one helps you more than me, HUD. It's going to be way better. Just feeding off little kids and just stuff like that is funny. But you're absolutely right. Fantasy football great, which also leads me to my tone deaf, which ties in pretty well, is the fantasy football gurus. AKA they're not gurus. I've been reading people talking things on Twitter and talking about mock drafts. Everybody's got their own scale. Everybody's got their own scale. And it's just so crazy. We're talking, there's rushing quarterbacks versus throwing quarterbacks, running back, no running back system. I don't know how you want to handle that. But it's just crazy. Everyone's got their own opinions. Everyone believes they're the smartest. I will say it. I'm a victim of it myself. I believe I am right at times. I lost in the finals by like 5 points last year. I had the best team all season, lost in the finals to Dean. It was heartbreaking. Crazy team, and just couldn't get it done. But outside of that, it's just so funny to me. I think the guys are like, oh, you're taking him there? Come on, he's not good enough to take there. And for this year especially, incredible amount of drop-off, I think there's like 5-6 guys, and then it drops off fast. There's a lot of great round 3 to 8 players, but only a couple great round 1 to 2 round players. I think the drop off is fast this year. I think there's like no good running backs, like unless you get C-Mac, who's going to be potentially missing week 1 and 2 with that hammy issue. Breece Hall, I guess, is the best guy. He catches a lot of passes, but doesn't really feel like we have a running back right now. I guess Bijan is maybe a good option, but we don't know how that's going to work. Obviously, Arthur Smith is gone, so that maybe helps. But the fantasy football gurus that believe they know all and love talking, and they're in so many leagues. And I'm in a couple leagues too, and I'm pissed at myself for joining more. I'm trying to cut down on leagues.
Yeah,
But
that's the worst.
the fantasy football gurus are just so tone deaf. Like, it's not that serious. You're not a real GM. If you were, someone would hire you. Like,
Yep.
just relax and have fun. It's fantasy football.
So I
And
did.
maybe tone deaf myself. I
Mhm.
hate my negative, and maybe this is controversial, but this is personal opinion. My negative for fantasy football about having multiple leagues, I hate rooting for Patrick Mahomes in one league and then rooting against Patrick Mahomes in another. That's like my least favorite thing. I don't know. Maybe it's controversial. Maybe it's boomer, but I hate that because like I'll get excited because Patrick Mahomes had 350 and 3 touchdowns in my $20 league, but in my $75 league, he's also playing against me and I'm screwed. I hate that.
Take all the same team then, I guess. I don't know. I don't think there's a
I don't know.
controversial opinion. It's the nature of the beast. I mean, you're in it or you're not. I will say,
Yeah.
our commissioner, so my draft I did on Sunday was my cousins invited me to their league with some of their neighbors, some of our other cousins. So I don't know
Okay.
everyone in the league. The commissioner is the epitome of the fantasy guru. We actually did.
Okay.
Silvio, I don't think he's listening, but he's from Boston. He's the most Boston motherfucker you will ever meet in your entire life. But we had one guy on the phone, so everyone else was in person except one guy. So we had to keep talking to him like this person got picked, and you'd see Silvio like
is it
this.
a sticker draft board?
Yeah,
or?
yeah, it was
Okay,
pretty
awesome,
pretty fun. He'd be like, "Really, Anthony? Like, I don't know about that pick. Are you sure?" And we're all like, "Dude, shut the fuck up! Like, let him make his mistake or don't." So that was like that. But the alternative to that, I'm a laptop guy. I found this really sweaty Excel sheet on Reddit. I still have to email it to you. But me and this other guy I didn't know. This is year 3 of the league, so see these guys once a year for the draft and have some people's numbers in the group chat. But I sit next to this guy, found out his name was Bill when he got announced for his pick.
Awesome.
Bill's my new friend. We were locked in, peering at each other's laptops. We were far away, so it really didn't impact like each other's picks. We were doing good shit. But the alternative of the fantasy guru is the draft day fantasy friend, and Bill was my fantasy friend this year.
I love that. That's where friendships are made. Friendships last a lifetime. Love that. Wrapping up now to end it like always. Wrong and right side. What do you got?
Starting off with wrong side and prefacing this with both my right side and wrong side are very stupid this week.
Okay.
Wrong side, dentist appointment. Nobody likes the dentist. I would say I don't hate the dentist. My mother, she is terrified of the dentist. She hates the dentist. But they're going to be real disappointed in me. I'm not a big floss guy. I brush my teeth. I'm not gross. I'm not disgusting. Very mindful, very demure, but
No.
yes. But no, they're going to be disappointed in me. I'm going to be bleeding up a storm at about 7:35 tomorrow morning. I'm not excited about it. So nothing crazy, which I guess is a good thing. I don't have a bigger wrong side going on, but dentist.
Okay. They must have known you were going because my dentist called me a couple weeks ago. I'm going on Thursday. So both of us going this week. A lot of blood going. Are you a rabid anti-dentite?
I'm not a rabid anti-dentite. I like my dentist, but I still don't know what they do. I'm not a rabid anti-dentite. I would say, like, my mom is more of the rabid anti-dentite between the two of us. But Dr. Kaplan in Lake Zurich.
What's your dentist like? Are you talking while you got the stuff in your mouth, or?
It depends on more so the hygienist. My dentist is the one, he comes in for about 2-3 minutes there at the end. He goes like this a little bit, waves the magic wand. He goes, "Yep, you're good. How's life, bud?" "Life's good, Dr. Kaplan. Have a good one." "Hey, take it easy, buddy." That's about all of the interaction with the dentist. I know some people like the dentist isn't like that, but I see him for all of about 3 minutes.
That's how mine is as well. It's like the last like 3-4 minutes. Dr. Fortis, that's her name. We talk about like our families and what's going on with our families, and that's really it. But mine, I don't know if yours is like this, but I've been going there for about 5-6 years now, and they actually, in all of the rooms where you're getting teeth cleaned, they have headphones and Netflix, so you can just watch while they're getting after it.
Bro, that's so LA. That's crazy. We got a massage there.
It's actually, I'm very pro doing that because I sometimes don't like talking. I'm very anti talking when there's shit in my mouth. So it works out for me. But yeah. So dentist, definitely wrong side. I have that as well. It's not my wrong side, but that is wrong side for both of us this week. But right side.
Right side, another stupid one. As I said earlier, work's been kind of kicking my butt lately, so I like to treat myself with some gifts every once in a while. You gotta love a good sale. You gotta love a good online sale. Bird dogs. No free ads, free ads. Sponsor us if you're listening. BIRD. I don't know if there's two D's in bird and dogs, but bird dogs are great. They're everything they're hyped up to be. The shorts and the joggers, 50% off. My friends have been swearing by them for years. Finally got them. Half the reason I came home was to pick up my package. Sorry, mom. But the bird dogs are great. That was my good. I got a good sale. Stuff. It all came. Didn't get stolen off my front porch like other packages at my apartment. Sent it back to the parents' house. Love a good sale. That was my right side this week.
Nothing beats a good sell.
Nothing
Love
beats a good
that.
sale.
Love
Mhm.
that. My wrong side. Again, apologies, but it was tis the season, and unfortunately, it happened today, the day we were recording. But the CD Lamb Spider-Man 3 post where the Venom has taken over his body. I don't know if that's referencing the '88 Venom that has infected the history of Cowboys, Michael Irvin and Dez, or the contract negotiations. I'm hoping that means he's turning into a villain and he's going to dominate this season. Spinzo?
Well, I thought first question, do you think Jerry Jones has seen the movie?
I think there's no shot, and he had to ask his grandson that helps him. What's going on?
Okay. But also, I think your spin zone's potentially valid. Like maybe like he got the money. He's about to announce that he signed the extension tomorrow, the next day, and he is gonna
Maybe.
go villain mode. He is gonna go bully Maguire mode on him. Or
Yes.
he's a villain and he's going to the Eagles like Saquon did, and the
Oh,
Eagles
that'd
are
be
gonna destroy the
crazy.
league. So I don't know who's back. Cryptic wide receiver social media post.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
don't know what it means. CD Lamb is going very high in fantasy football drafts. The league I was talking about earlier, one guy has won it 2 years in a row. The guy that was on the phone, CD Lamb, the other 2 years fell to him at like number 4 or 5 this year. First three
Wow.
picks were running backs actually. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, we'll see what happens there.
I will say I saw one Cowboys beat writer post something funny, and it's the scene where Tobey Maguire is doing the dance.
Yeah.
Someone said if he were to get a new contract and do that dance as a celebration, that would be full circle for the moment. So that I'm kind of rooting for that now a little.
That
But
would be good.
let's get our guys back out there, sign your deals. Like I said last week, wake up Jerry. But right side, 250 followers. Very excited about
Woo!
that. Crossed a quarter of 1,000. We're on our way. We posted some great content. I think that was the best reel that Moose has posted. The Danny McBride eastbound and down one
Yeah.
today was hysterical. I think I've watched it 15 times. If you missed that one, check it out. It was super funny. Thought it was great. And that was my wrong side. I mean, my right side. So I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, 250 followers. Thank you for all of you continuing to stay here and support us and keep listening, sharing, subscribing. We really do appreciate it. Shout out Moose for killing the game on the great content that we keep getting out there, and the rest of the guys for putting in their parts as well. Also, shout out Moose for a new job he'll be starting in a couple weeks.
Yes,
So
let's go.
right side for the wrong siders. Life's good, man. 250 followers. Happy to be here. I enjoy doing this every week with you and excited to see where it goes. We got the Dynasty, we got the Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, hoping to set up some more streams. So if you want to see me get really, really mad and try and go for another perfect season, I will be starting a new offline Dynasty here in the near future and hopefully getting some streams up there. But that's really all we got, man. Right side, wrong side. Football is back.
Another great week, successful week. We've done it again. Happy Wrong Side Wednesday. Enjoy your weeks. See you guys next week. Have a good one.
Stay blessed.